So Mono Black Banefire, this is a deck that I lovingly refer to as a kill all the things deck. Basically, I think this deck, people often ask, I focus on playing best of 3 on the stream, but if you're looking for a deck that's kind of a sweet control deck to play on the ladder, I think this deck's actually a pretty good choice because it's got a bunch of sweepers in it to be decent against the aggro decks, and the fact that you have Banefires and you have kind of a good long game makes you reasonable against control decks as well. So let's dive into some games here. This one's been a lot of fun. This is definitely my favorite control deck in the current format right now. Gets to dirtle around and then eventually win the game with a massive Banefire. Mastermind's Acquisition is an incredibly slow and clunky card that when you draw too many of them, you die with them in your hand. So sure, it gets you the right card, but paying +4 mana to get the right card is very, very slow. The Arena importing is okay. It definitely, the fact that Arena needs its own proprietary formatting for deck lists kind of sucks, but if they just supported generic text lists, I think it'd be pretty close to perfect. Decks that play non-creature spells are weak to Duress. So yes, this deck has a lot of cards that Duress can take away. No, and if you want to read why I think Chromium is the correct win condition in the Esper Amulet deck, you can read my full primer on the Esper Amulet deck on Cool Stuff Inc. from last week. Oh, Stream Decker is the non-discovery version. Got it. All right, should be updated. Sweet, and getting Thaumatic Compass to stick there is really good for us because it means that we're gonna get to hit all our land drops the rest of the game. Speaking of Amulet, probably a good chance we're playing against Esper Amulet right now. Zero sleep with the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to Karn. Yeah, Karn make dudes race is probably correct. I think you're right with that assessment.
Our actions determine for all. Say hello to my little friend.
Yep, confirm playing the Amulet deck. Alright, so I think I'd rather scry with the map here than play the compass out, because that way the map flips next turn, making me a bunch of treasures. I can actually threaten lethal next turn, right? But I assume they're going to draw a bunch of cards here and gain a bunch of life. Yeah, we don't beat them by grinding Punishing Waterfalls. We beat them by, like, playing Karns and attacking them. Is how we win this game. Without counter spells, you're not going to outgrind what the opponent's doing. That's actually kind of funny. Ooh, Banefire. So this actually lets me Dispersal their Amulet this turn if I wanted. Yeah, if I Dispersal, they can't settle. It makes these 5/5s, but that means I still have lethal next turn, right? So I think that's fine. Oh, they might flip this in response. It didn't let me scry on my upkeep because there's a massive amount of lag between the client and the server, and if you don't put the stop on far in advance, it often misses it. Woof. Yeah. Yeah, this was our shot and we took it. No, lands have 0 CMC. Wait, what the? I didn't get to attack, and it didn't return a card to their hand? What just happened there? So it didn't return Search for Azcanta, and I didn't get a combat step? It doesn't target. Yeah, that's a bug. That's a bug. This doesn't target. It doesn't. I'm gonna time you out because you're wrong. That's the best part about Twitch chat, is how aggressively people are wrong and don't know what they're talking about. Dispersal doesn't target. There's no word target anywhere on this side of the card. Before you tell me I'm wrong, please be informed and understand what's going on in the situation that we're discussing. Yeah, I think it skipped my combat because I clicked the pass turn button. That's a hangover for Magic Online. In Magic Online, when you press pass turn, it still gives you a combat step, which I think should technically be considered a bug on Magic Arena. That being said, Dispersal should still have bounced a card to their hand. Yeah, Dispersal notes non-land. Right? This scene just doesn't do anything. I'm just gonna concede this match. This match is probably unwinnable. I'm gonna read Discovery. Each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control, then discards a card. Dispersal checks CMC regardless of whether or not it's a land, so it won't return non-lands. So if your land has the highest converted mana cost, it just doesn't return anything. What an incredibly intuitive interaction. That sounds like what happened. Yeah, the back side of cards have the same CMC as the front side of the card. That's a rule they changed. So once upon a time, flipped cards had converted mana costs of 0, but the rules now say that flipped cards have converted mana costs that's the same as their front side. Yeah, the templating on that card is really awkward. Yeah, I probably clicked auto pass. That's definitely why I skipped my combat step. But I don't know if the dispersal interaction is a bug or working as intended. They did discard a card. It just did not return search to their hand. That was working as intended. That feels like one of those things, like casting Squee from underneath Ixalan's binding, that the templating is wrong. Thinking about how that card is worded more, I could see that that's how the rules work in a technically correct sense, but it seems incredibly unintuitive. Okay, hearing people talk about why that's supposed to do that, that sounds like MTG Arena is doing what Magic's supposed to do, but it sounds like the way the Magic rules engine is handling that is silly. At one point, you could cast Squee from underneath an Ixalan's binding, and they changed the rules, so that's no longer the case. Yes, they changed the rules because that was a bad rule. Did I miss a sub in there? No, I hit 0 sleep, right? I think I mentioned that one. I think we're dead. Yeah, everybody's saying things about targeting. They don't get it. Dispersal doesn't target. These cast downs looking incredibly awkward here. All right, well, there's a Ritual of Soot for the next Karn, potentially. I think I want to get this compass into play. Sure. So next turn I Karn, down tick, and Ritual of Soot them. Sure. And then I'm only 2 off of Thaumatic Compass working. That's a good hit too. That gives me an answer to the Tristani after I clean the board up here. I actually made a small mistake on turn 2 this game. I played a mountain out rather than playing out a copy of Cabal Stronghold, which if I would have sequenced differently, I could have had an extra mana this turn, which means I could have activated a Thaumatic Compass. That's kind of a big deal. I think I'm gonna discard a cast down. Time for my complimentary time. Let's go to Nugjug. Thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, so I'm gonna play this. And then these are gonna flip over this turn. So I get to do this to make 5, so I have 8 mana altogether. I think I'm gonna just Eldest Reborn here. The Gather Rolling State, what we experienced was a bug. I'd believe that. Eldest Reborn seems pretty bad here. I'm going to bring in an extra cast down. Do I want Fountain of Renewal in this matchup? I think so. Probably better than the Eldest Reborn. Just way to buffer my health total. I mean, both my maps were flipping. That game was likely over in our favor, but we weren't 100%. We definitely weren't 100% to win there, but we were pretty close. Didn't know you could sacrifice a player to Eldest Reborn. That is kind of what happened there, isn't it? That is about what happened there. Nice token stack. Keep. All right, we drew the mountain again. Let's not make the mistake. I want to play this later. We don't need this unless we what's it called? Need to Banefire, so I'll just get our swamps down ASAP so our Cabal, whatever, can be good. And get my Scry on here. They're gonna get a couple of good licks in, but the Ritual of Soot on 4 should be good on the draw here. I am not ready for Josu. Yeah, I like this deck a lot too. I think this is my favorite control deck in the format. Just like the axes that it gets to fight on are really sweet. Yeah, cast down not looking fantastic. Boop him on the nose. So, do I want to scry with the treasure map, or do I want to... Alright, I don't want to scry with the treasure map. I guess we just play Karn in plus here. Karn plus is basically like draw a land, right? What's going on, right, cat? Thanks for having a good one. Pump it up. The choices we make reveal who we are. Fobble. Thanks for the 13-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm aware, Nick. Like I said, I can understand the ruling going both ways. Rude. I liked my card. Do I want this compass? I feel like I don't at this point. I guess this is a soft removal spell. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm looking for another threat at this point. I think I'm gonna take one more hit from this just so I can like Ritual of Soot next turn in case they play anything. I have a standing desk with motors in the legs, so I split my time standing and sitting when I stream. Alright, well, Banefire is gonna be a Doomblade here. God bless. For the people that are discussing the interaction in chat, can we listen to Elsa and just let it go? It's gonna be okay, I promise. Never let it go. I'd encourage you to go talk to judges elsewhere, but the chat's just gonna like be dominated by that otherwise. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised the auto tapper used the Cabal Stronghold correctly. I'm gonna go ahead and crack Fountain of Renewal here, looking for an answer. Ooh. Am I dead? I think I'm dead, right? Need like double sweeper here.
A curious choice.
All right. God, we're one short. We're one short, chat. Oh, why are we one short? That's so sad. That's so sad. Poor Josu. Dead to Flower Flourish, dead to Removal Spell. My one basic mountain coming to haunt me. Spell. Yes. All right, sweet. So you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need, chat. All I need is a chance. Take a chance on me. Do. All right, we're at a virtual 7 here. Been loving this deck. Are there any changes you would make for best of 1 play? No, I don't think so. I think I'd probably play card for card what I've got here. Let's go ahead and exile this. Do I want to exile 2 things so they can't flip their thing over? Probably. All right, since I'm not dead on board, I'm gonna take a hot second and get this treasure map going. Increase my average card quality here a little bit. They're at 21, 22. This is 8. So this is 8 into 8 into minus 3 plus 8 is 13. 17, 18, so I can Banefire for 17. I can Banefire for 17. I can hit a land next turn. Land's not enough to do. I think I have to bottom that. I think I just need answers. I could have attacked with Josu. That's true. I could have attacked here and attacked again next turn. That's true. I wasn't considering that I get like 2 attacks in here. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to attack there. I don't know. I bottomed it now. Lyra makes me happy that I bottomed it. I like how everybody's just like, your opponent definitely wouldn't have blocked. They could have potentially been dead, but the people speaking with certainty are incorrect. It's not certain that they would have been dead. Activate Mazavith. Because it doesn't untap when it flips. It doesn't untap when it flips. For people asking why I sequenced the way I did. Am I dead on board if I keep this treasure map? I'm gonna get attacked for... No, I'm not. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna down tick Karn this turn. I think we're ahead at this point, right? We just like dodge Flower Flourish. So that means they just drew Flower Flourish, of course. Now that I've said those words out loud, their top card was now Flower Flourish. Previously, their top card was something else. Oh, are we doing it? Are we dodging? Are we dodging? All right, so they get to kill. They get to kill Karn and flip their thing, but I get to eat 2 knights, so I think this is a fair exchange for us.
This will not deter me.
Sure. Just casual 9 floating. No big deal. No big deal. NBD. Let there be Karns. Well, I mean, if they held the knights back, they didn't kill my Karn. And obviously their goal there was to kill my Karn, right? That is not how Dispersal works. It did remove my stop. Thank you for the heads up. That's a really annoying bug that I hope they fix soon. We just spent 20 minutes reading Dispersal, and still nobody knows what it does. Those were always my favorite judge calls in paper, where like there'd be a question about an interaction, the judge would come over, pick up the card, read the card out loud, and the player would go, oh, I understand now. Like the judge just didn't do anything other than read the magic card. It's just like, oh, magic. Deal. That's so good for me with this third card in my hand. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just like in for all the treasures, right? Oh my god. These are my little tiny constructs. Little itty bitty baby constructs. I'm not quite ready to start attacking yet because they can make a 1/1 every turn. And this is why I like this control deck a lot. Like, this deck has a bunch of great controlling tools, but then, like, your card advantage engine randomly kills them. Your Banefires randomly kill them. Your Josu Vesses randomly kill them. I do have another Josu in the deck. Ooh, we are under the gun to do stuff. Got it? I do have ways to shuffle. I have compass shuffles, right? Ooh. That's like a little awkward because like it kills my Karn structs, but it's like it's better than dying, right? I don't think I'm supposed to attack. Because they have a bunch of lifelink tokens, chat, and my attack signifies that something's about to happen, so they're very, very likely to block with lifelink tokens and end up health from me attacking. I think attacking there is pretty wrong. Like, why do I even need a Karn struck here just yet? I think I'd rather up it so I can start generating some extra cards. Also, there's only 19 cards left in my deck, so I could just, like, draw through to my Banefire again and kill them that way. I like how they keep making me do this. Like, come on now, stop it. Compass is actually great because it shuffles my deck. They're trying to choke me on mana, right? Alright, so let's play this. Let's tap 3 lands. Let's activate this. Let's do this. Most importantly, that shuffles my deck. So now let's draw with Treasure Coves to try and hit a Banefire that's lethal. So I get 2 draws and a Banefire that's lethal and 17 cards. Oh, a Josu. Oh, that one seems good. That one's probably okay. I'm gonna grab Vraska's Contempt from over here. Alright. Wait a minute. Should I Contempt this and then attack them? No, because they'll make a token. Alright, kick it. Who's the tokens deck now, opponent? Who's the tokens deck now? You tell me. Do 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 do. I didn't attack with my Menace creature because they had 2 blockers, one of which was First Strike. I guess I could have Contempted this and pressure. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna like hit my Banefire and kill them here at some point. They also had an Adanto that could sit here and make a thing. I mean, they're not going to make a bad double block, chat. I literally got the Vraska's Contempt off of the Karn minus, so they knew the removal spell was there. So people hoping to get them are just like hoping they weren't paying attention to the card that's like literally face up in my hand. All right, 11 cards, 1 Banefire. I think this would actually be a pretty good best of 1 deck, for what it's worth. Alright, 8 cards, 1 Banefire. 7 cards, 1 Banefire. Alright, let's just kill their board and attack them. They could have a March of the Multitudes here. So, like, starting to kill their stuff will pressure them into playing March of the Multitudes. No, I already shuffled. I shuffled since we scryed it to the bottom. Imagine if Josu had multi-kicker. We would definitely be able to multi-kicker him in this deck. So if they end step March, untap Flower Flourish, they have 4 things, and I have 3 of these, and I'm still not dead, so I might as well attack with everything here. Go. Peace, Mr. Missouri. Have a good one. Goes the weasel. How we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're a new viewer, thanks for dropping in. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. We play a ton of standard best of 3 here on Magic Arena. I also play some modern and legacy on Magic Online. I'm here streaming 5 days a week during the week from Monday through Friday. If you find yourself enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the people that keep me employed here full-time. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. Past subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. CoolStuffInc.com buy and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bar using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoagleBar. You can save 10% on your order, so there with them. HurlyBurlyStudio.com provides wonderful professional Magic the Gathering altars. They do border extensions and all sorts of other great stuff there. And you can save 10% on your altars with them by using code Jeff10 at checkout. Hey, Natum, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with that. BCW Supplies is the only ones I trust to protect my wonderful shuffling deck here with their BCW Elite Guard sleeves. Using code Jeff Holiday Stream at bit.ly/BCW sale. You can save 20% on all of your purchases there with them through the first of the year. At any rate, we won our first match with the mono black Banefire deck. This is easily my favorite control deck in the format right now. Let's head on in to the next one and see how it goes. You can always find my deck list on the screen via the Stream Decker widget. Should be on the left side of your screen. Alternatively, you can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. If you think this deck is sweet and it's your first time seeing it and you want to see more after I'm done today, be sure to check out my website, jeffhoagland.com. You can click standard decks at the top, and this is one of the many sweet and fun standard decks that you can find there, not only with deck lists, but also videos of me playing the deck. I can't take credit for the core idea of this deck. This deck, like many of the awesome decks that we played on the stream, was originally a viewer submission. And if you've got awesome decks of your own that you'd like to see played on stream at some point in the future, be sure to check out my deck submission process as well. Yeah, I've played some of Ali's Chromatic Black deck, and in my experience, his deck just doesn't have enough respect for the aggressive decks in the format. Just gets run over too often, playing too many, like, 3, 4, and 5 mana do-nothing cards. So turn 4 is kind of a pivotal turn against decks that are playing blue mana and interaction. I think it's right to play my Karn out this turn, and the reason for that is if I don't play something that they need to counter on turn 4 here, they get to just Chemister's Insight for free, and if they don't have a counter spell this turn, once I let them Chemister's Insight, they're even more likely to have access to a card like that. So you generally speaking want to play a must counter card against the control decks when they have 4 mana up. This deck plays 1 mountain. So choosing to plus my Karn there is better against Vraska's Contempt. However, minusing it will be better against Eldest Reborn. Looks like my opponent had a whole lot of nothing going on. I wonder if their hand just had a lot of cards that weren't good in a control mirror. It's probably pretty likely. This deck has a really easy board plan against control decks. We get to cut all of our kind of awkward removal spells and sweepers and just bring in Duresses and other Banefire, Plaguecrafters, etc. We want to keep in all of our copies of Eldest Reborn and Vraska's Contempt to take their Planeswalkers off the table. What's going on, Hurly Burly? Thank you for the biddies. So yeah, so this deck plays the 3 Banefires off of the 1 basic mountain and then copies of Thaumatic Compass to help find that basic mountain. You decided to read up on the ruling of Squeep plus binding? Yeah, it's one of... that was a really good rule that they changed. That was an instance where they changed the magic rules to make them far more intuitive. For reference, for people that were talking about the dispersal ruling earlier, here's the ruling from the head judge at WotC. 6 months. Thank you very much to Strawminator. I appreciate that. Does that mean I get to leave my underwear in your channel now? Something like that. My house would get very crowded if we had all the 6-month subs and more sleepover. The new house is going to be a little bit bigger than that one, but I don't even think that even that one could handle all the people. Rude. Joke's on you, I didn't want to cast those spells anyways. Put this to Grixis Death Shadow. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for the biddies, Ryom. I appreciate that. I need to talk to my boss to find out when I can stream this weekend, but I'm planning to stream this weekend at some point. Probably do a little bit of modern and standard on the stream. It did make them discard. Of course I have a boss. Everybody who's married knows I have a boss.
Sorry I'm late. You know what? I'm not done yet.
I guess I take the mountain here just in case I draw Banefire to kill this Teferi. Kinda sucks that I don't have one of my 11 ways to take this off the table. Maybe I should have been digging with Discovery. That's a Karn, okay. Ooh, sounds like we might need to restart. The audio's getting a little finicky. I'm not gonna do a full shill, but I'm gonna kick Arena really quick here. Arena no longer crashes when it's been running for a while, but the audio likes to distort. Teferi was beatboxing, exactly. It connects back up really quick, usually.
Sorry I'm late.
That's incredibly good. Woof. I guess I'm starting with this. I think there's a good chance we end up dead here. Awkward. I think we're gonna see a lot of Vana next format. She's very, very good. And once we have the better tools to surround her with, she'll be even more reasonable.
Let's skip to the good.
Yeah, the CMC of a flipped card on its backside is the same as the CMC on its flip side. Bye-bye compass. Oh, they punted. They missed the floating mana. They missed that I had a floating mana.
Time for plan B.
We're probably still dead here because Vana's just gonna like bury us deep in the ground, but we got him. Ha!
If you show remorse, I'll show restraint. Keep up the pace.
So Velvana the Eldest Reborn. I don't think it's gonna matter. Let's look like we're pretty dead here.
You know what?
It's fine. We'll get to
I'm
take
not
game
done.
3 on the play. I am an extremely competitive bronze 4. I have played this many matches of ranked. I have zero desire to play best of 1 Magic the Gathering. I think I'm keeping that where it's at. Yeah, we move along with our lives here. Lana just buried us very deep in the ground there. Card's really strong out of the control side boards. We actually have a lot of removal in our deck post board. I've got 11 pieces. We just ended up not seeing it, but still did not give us a lot of time to get out of it. Yeah, unless you really like playing best of 1 Magic, the rewards aren't meaningful in this first pre-ladder season. Seems very reasonable. That's true. That's true. For the right amount of money, I will happily play whatever your best of 1 deck is in the high variance best of 1 format. We do our best to be entertaining here while we play Magic, J. Poli. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Take my stuff. It's fine. I didn't want my stuff anyways. There's a lot of different ways they can handle adding best of 3 to the ladder. This is a pre-season ladder. It's the first season they're doing this. They're still trying to figure things out. Everybody needs to like take a hot second and like realize that like Wizards of the Coast isn't really a software company and they're rushing to get this release out the door, and like what we have now isn't necessarily the final product that we're gonna have. That's why they're leaving the beta tag on it. How long until I get time? Well, you can actually never time yourself out on Twitch. You get a sword at 12 months though to time other people out. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with enjoying best of 1 Magic. One of the things that makes Magic a really great game is the fact that there's lots of different ways to play Magic. Just like some people enjoy Limited, and some people enjoy EDH, and some people enjoy Vintage and Legacy. All these different things, these formats, are basically different games under the Magic the Gathering banner. And there's nothing wrong with liking one of those while disliking others. The only wrong way to play Magic on Magic Arena is playing a deck that you don't enjoy or a format that you don't enjoy. So long as you're having fun, that's what should matter. I mean, Field of Rune, if you think about it, Jesse, is actually pseudo-fixing, right? Without Field of Rune, they wouldn't have had the basic planes. Field of Rune's like a really slow Evolving Wilds in a lot of situations. That was an excellent draw, because it lets me Duress a counterspell and then Vraska's Contempt this. Vomit. That's true. Playing with the auto tapper off is just wrong. I will agree to that. Playing with the auto tapper off is just wrong.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Yep. So I'm hoping that they don't draw a second counterspell here. Second 2-mana counterspell specifically, because I want to end step Vraska's Contempt this, untap Eldest Reborn. So we know they have this stroke, so I'm assuming this is going to get stroked, and then I want to untap and play Eldest Reborn. So now that I drew that, Well, I guess I only have X is 5, so I still need to play this. Banefire no longer is lethal. All right, that worked out. That worked out well for us.
Do you want me to phase you out of time?
Do you want me to phase you out of time? Probably just gonna play another Teferi. Invoke the Divine. Invoke the Divine's very good against us. We have a lot of good targets for that. Opponents had a lot of really good threats. Teferi and Vana together have been a kind of a brutal set to keep up with. Feels bad, man. All right, need to draw a live one here to kill this Vana. It's unfortunate. I guess she doesn't kill us for a few turns, which is nice, but like now they have untapped mana for counter spells. Yeah, so she's gonna bury us too. Probably too far gone at this point. Oh, tough. Yeah, just got, and those games are a pretty good example of like untapped Teferi, unchecked Teferi, like runs away with games very quickly, right? So like they just had, anytime you draw 2 or more cards with the Teferi, you become a strong favorite to win most games of Magic unless the board is really out of control. What do we got? Doomblade Karn, sign me up. I think Teferi's fine in standard. There's nothing wrong with Teferi. One of the things that makes this standard format really good and a lot of fun to play, in my opinion, is the fact that there is a wide variety of powerful busted cards. Playing with strong cards is fun. It makes for interesting and dynamic games of Magic, in my opinion. There's Teferis, there's Nivs, there's History of Benalios, there's Carnage Tyrant. There's powerful, arguably busted cards in every color in this format. It's one of the reasons why the format is good and fun, in my opinion. I think I'm in for both of these, actually. It's like we're playing against Drakes. Someone commented on the quality of the decks we played against today. Yeah, I'm playing in just the unranked traditional queue, which must have some kind of MMR rating, and we just needed to get our MMR back up. Because the quality of decks we played against today has been very reasonable. You get dive down here. Yeah. Yeah, we actually haven't played against a single Cards I Own deck today, which feels really good. Compass is great. I have 6 lands in play already, and I have a swamp in my hand. This is gonna flip right over. No, he has to resolve. That being said, the opponent's deck generally doesn't have counter spells in its main deck. It's usually just like spell pierces and sometimes negates. So they probably can't counter Josu. Those don't counter Josu. Those are all things that like interrupt removal spells. That's it. The person who asked why I didn't cast out in response to the trigger, it's because I messed up. You know, we don't sugarcoat mistakes here. In. So Compass will flip over here, which effectively soft removes one of their creatures. Oh, was that why? Okay, sure. I believe you. I didn't make a mistake. Didn't have a land. That's why. Got it. That sounds right, but I honestly didn't remember the situation. Yeah, I think it's weird when people stream without being interactive. Like, what's the purpose? Why not just like make YouTube content if you're not gonna like talk to the people in the chat? Just like pre-record stuff and upload it. The whole upside to Twitch versus other traditional forms of media is that like you get to interact with people while you have things going on. That's fair. I guess it is definitely easier to monetize on Twitch than YouTube. I guess people do still subscribe sometimes to people who are just like not interacting at all. Huh. Yeah, if people have nice music on their stream though, they're technically breaking their Twitch partner agreement. Do I want Cabal Stronghold here? I don't think I do. I think I just want a removal spell. Yeah, but let's be blunt. The people playing royalty-free music generally don't have people listening to their stream because they like the music. I don't think that's really true, Jesse K. There are a lot of larger streamers that like stream with lots of music when they shouldn't. I know many people who stream with, you know, 1,000+ concurrent viewers on average and play music that they don't have permission to stream. So I'm technically not dead to a dive down next turn since I have Spires plus Contempt here, which is nice. So we are dead to dive down plus Spell Pierce. Alright, well that worked out better than expected. Correct. If you ever open anybody's stream, if you ever open anybody's past VODs and their VODs are muted, that's probably because they're using music that they didn't have permission to use. Yeah, Spotify doesn't give you a broadcast license. Spotify gives you permission to play music for just you, one person. Which is very, very different from having a license to broadcast music. We have Treasure Map in their main deck. It's interesting. This game has a ton of cards in it. Even just the standard format right now has what, like 1,200 or so cards in it? That's probably high. This current standard format is five sets, and it has a lot of variety in it still, and it's just gonna get bigger. Hey, the Tower Knight with the brand new Prime support. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Current standard is 1,200 cards. Look at that. I wasn't far off. All right, so let's how do I cancel this? I think I pick a number that's too big and then hit cancel. I want to make sure this taps right and doesn't tap my spires. You're dead? That's just not true. Have a timeout. I get to kill this one, and then I have a spires here. If they have another counter spell, I'm dead. But on board, I am not dead. Alright, they had Spell Pierce as well. So now I'm dead to the Spell Pierce, but I was not dead to just the 2 Drakes on board with the Banefire in my hand. Alright, so that's good. Duress is fine. I don't think this is a good Banefire matchup. Ritual of Soot's pretty bad, though. Plaguecrafter's great in this matchup, just like sacrifice all their creatures. They usually have, 1 at a time. Banefire's only uncounterable if X is 5 or more. And X was not 5 or more there. The only land I had left up there was a copy of my Spires, which I needed to not die to the other one. Here's something really important, and this is going to help you go far in life. It doesn't matter if you're right. The presentation of what you're doing and the perception of how you're presenting yourself is often far more important than just being technically correct. So, to quote the Big Lebowski, you're not wrong, Ted, but you're still an asshole. And like, they didn't know we were dead there to known information. We were dead if they had a Spell Pierce in their hand, but that required them to play another card out of their hand. God bless Light Stars. Yeah, we have rules for the chat on this stream. One of the reasons why I'm able to interact with people as often as I am is because even though, you know, there's 1,300 people and here almost 1,400 people, we have rules, which mean people aren't just like randomly spamming lots of nonsense all the time, which gives me the ability to actually read and respond to meaningful comments that are helpful. Cut down on the chatter by actually enforcing chat rules. I said a very generous donation from BK. Thanks for all you do. You make viewing enjoyable and easy for removal advice. I appreciate everyone's interaction. And shouting out card names and abilities when you can't quite tell on mobile. Prime subs coming away. Thanks for the support, BK. The people that support my content, especially with donations and cheers, I always encourage them to dictate what the content is. So if you see a deck in my donation queue, BK, that you'd like to see a little bit sooner, be sure to let me know and I'd be happy to push it up. Same goes for anybody that wants to donate or cheer any amount, $1 or more, 100 bits or more. My deck queue is public. You can take a peek in there and pick a deck that you'd like to see. Man, this hand is good. On the stack with the 6-month resub. Welcome back. I appreciate that. I think I'm supposed to take the Spell Pierce here so that way I can resolve Karn next turn. Thanks for the half a year. Can ask to be timed out. Someone needs to take away his Twitter account. As someone who steps in it on Twitter occasionally, it's just like, it's not even comparable to him.
Go on. Hit me again.
Host incoming. Is, Nox about to be done for the day? Alrighty. Who would win, a being with power to travel the universe or one stinky boy? Listen, he's really smelly, okay? He's not just stinky, okay? He's got the plague. He's got the literal plague, okay? Let's Duress them. Hey, Nox with the raid. Thanks for the support, I appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream today. Clearing out the dive down is great because it means we'll be far more likely to be able to kill this Niv later.
I advise the choices we make reveal who we are.
Plaguecrafter in exile from him here too is good. Having all the, I actually don't think this matchup's that bad for us, especially post-board when we get to like bring in Plaguecrafters on top of the rest of our removal. Love the idea and you follow instant screen block enchantment. Sounds good, BK. What's a raid? Is that new? So the difference between a raid and a host is a raid pushes everybody from your channel to a new URL. So it changes the URL everybody's watching from. A raid's like a more aggressive host in a way. So they chose not to play this out, which kind of implies to me that they have a protection spell in their hand, because otherwise, why wait? They could be hoping to draw one. Sweet. Disdainful Stroke. Goodbye. I think I'm going to go ahead and just down tick this and get the Plaguecrafter guaranteed. This way, if they rip some way to kill Karn, I get my Plaguecrafter out of him. I only have 6 lands in play, so I can wait a turn to activate this. Thanks everybody for dropping in today. If you haven't seen my content before, my name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time on Twitch. I'm here, you know, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5-ish or so. So I'm gonna go on for another 2.5, 3 hours today. I had previously played Magic the Gathering at a semi-professional level. I played on the SCG Tour for many years, qualified for a couple other Players Championship tournaments, and now I'm a full-time meme here on Twitch. Let's push this up here. It might be right to start down ticking the Karn and get a little bit aggressive here, but with this flipping, it's still a little bit away from that being useful. We did just exile a treasure map though. Treasure map makes the Karn tokens much better. So because I don't need to activate this turn to make something not attack, I might as well grab a land with it before it flips over. Oh, make them discard the Niv. Yeah, that's probably fine. You kind of get out ahead of it. Yeah, maybe that's better. I didn't think about that. Thank you for the suggestion. Was it like being in the scene before Twitch caught on? Well, nobody that plays a bunch of competitive Magic like really makes money doing it. That's why the MPL that Wizards is doing, the Magic Premier League, for their top 32 players, like for playing and streaming contracts, is such a big deal. Because like playing in Magic tournaments is like mostly a break-even affair. You do it for the love of the game because you like playing Magic a bunch, not because you expect to make a living doing it. Yeah, the make an opponent discard a card is definitely the hidden mode on Plaguecrafter. The Black-Red midrange deck seemed really sweet. I'm super excited to play with Angrath once we get Blood Crypt and some other Rakdos tools. Like the new Black-Red destroy a Planeswalker creature or artifact is going to be super good with Angrath. Yeah, people like thought Plaguecrafter was like a marginally better Fleshbag Marauder, but this card's just much better. It does a lot. Bedevil, yeah, that's the one. Backup Karn. I don't think I need that at this point.
Good choice.
There's a Cabal Stronghold, and I've got Dub's Banefire in my hand here, so especially with the map flip next turn, we might get set up to just like Banefire them over 2 turns. Yeah, when I traveled to play a bunch of Magic, I was working full-time as a business analyst as well, or a stay-at-home dad with the kids. So like traveling to play Magic was my hobby, it wasn't my job. Whereas like streaming Magic full-time here has become my job, which is why I'm here, you know, the 40-50 hours a week that I am. Keeps getting rid of my stop. Stop getting rid of my stop. I don't know, there's a big difference between a card costing... There's a big difference between a card costing 2 and a card costing 3. Or a card costing 4. 3 and 4, sorry. Like that 75% more mana is a big deal.
Nothing is ever truly.
Alright, so do I have enough mana here? I think I have enough mana to just, like, get them over 2 turns with this Banefire, right? This is 8, and then, yeah. So this is Banefire for 8, and then 12. So we'll just 12 them. 75% the cost. I probably said 75% more, 75% the cost. I wonder if I'm supposed to board in my third copy of Banefire in this matchup. I don't think I did for this game, but like the double Banefire kill over 2 turns is like pretty real, especially if like they're turning into a more controlling deck post board with more treasure maps and stuff. Double Banefiring then becomes more appealing. I think Bedevil is just going to be another one of the many. This card is... The fact that it's unconditional removal is huge. One of the things that's really good about the standard format is that a lot of the removal is conditional in some way. So like 3 mana fixed target problem without downside other than being able to cast it. It's like a pretty big deal. Expansion can copy a Banefire for 4 or less. Expansion has that little asterisk on there that it can only copy cards that cost converted mana cost 4 or less. Uh, 9, 15, X is 15 here. We could do more than that, but it's good enough. Boop. Boop, boop him on the nose. Dive down this one. Whew. Nice handful of counter spells. Get him, got him. Good. Yeah, I think, yeah, I left the third Banefire in the board for that game. I think I'm gonna board it in, because like this is even just a removal spell in a pinch, right? Maybe trim a copy of Discovery. Discovery or Treasure Map? Actually, Karn's probably a little clunky. I'm gonna trim a Karn. That card be a Modern staple? No, 3 mana is a lot in Modern. Modern's a really brutal, efficient format. Modern is an incredibly brutal and efficient format, so spending 3 mana for removal spell is, like, not fantastic. I mean, like, people that don't remember or don't know their history, like, Hero's Downfall was an incredibly playable Magic the Gathering card. And, like, this is, like, so any deck that can cast the black-red is probably interested in playing that card. Hey, Pete Geo, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. I appreciate you supporting my content this month with that. Do they have the cheeky turn 1 Spell Pierce? Survey says they have that or they have an Opt, one of the two. They have Opt. All right, let's take their Circuit here. Yeah, Downfall is a big deal. I don't expect that the Bedevil to be as common as Hero's Downfall, obviously, because it does have a restrictive mana cost, but I think decks that can consistently make black-red mana are interested in playing some amount of that card, guaranteed. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't end up being a 4 of, just because there are other good removal spells like Contempt and like Lava Coil in the format. But a non-zero amount of it seeing play in decks that can cast it is almost a guarantee. And like, just seeing how good the black-red mid-range decks are now without Blood Crypt and without the other Rakdos tools, there's definitely gonna be some kind of good black-red mid-range or control deck in the next format. Dear Magic Arena, please stop getting rid of my stops. Yeah, Jund could be sweet. We've tried some Jund decks in the current format, and like currently there doesn't seem like there's a fantastic reason to be into red, but cards like that removal spell could be a reason to be into red. No, it does get rid of it, Brad. Pretty sure it gets rid of it. If I get into a position where I don't care, I can test it, but I'm pretty confident it actually gets rid of it. Yeah, at the end of your turn, it clears out the stops. I see, and it doesn't always remove it here, right? Like I clicked it, and then it went through my turn, and then it didn't actually remove it. Compass. I think Compass is actually worth keeping here. It's like a soft removal spell eventually, and like these treasure maps are gonna flip and make this happen sooner. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and Plaguecrafter here and take this Crackling Drake off the table. Just the board being clear, I think favors me in the long game here. I think we're definitely the more controlling deck, and the onus is on them to kill us before we get to Banefire range. Don't think I'm in the market for a second Compass. I think I want to try and find a way to kill a Niv Mizzet at this point, because Niv's one of the scarier cards they could play. Perfect. Even if they have a Spell Pierce here, this is going to get to resolve because I have all these treasures in play. For people that aren't familiar with Cabal Stronghold mana, Cabal Stronghold does not net us mana, additional mana, until we have 5 swamps in play. So we're still a little bit of a ways off from this ramping us up at all. If they play Red Source Niv and have a protection spell for Niv, we could be in trouble. But I guess there's 2 more turns before that happens. Yeah, Angrath is a really sweet enabler for that, isn't it? So you want to scry during your upkeep if you don't have anything else better to do with your mana. So if you already have something that you want to do with your mana for the turn, you should do that with your mana. But I don't currently have anything that I want to spend resources on, so I might as well scry to try and find a better thing to do for the turn. Plaguecrafter's not a terrible draw. I'm gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and activate this here. Because now I can play this for the turn. The Thaumatic Compass is going to flip over. I can scry with this map again. Arena's really well done. It's made digital magic good in a way I just honestly never thought could be possible. This deck's got a lot of really small micro decisions in it. So this is the, do they have Niv plus a protection spell turn? Doesn't look like it, so I get to scry. I would love a Karn, thank you for asking. So now I'm not going to scry during my upkeep because I already have a card on top of my deck that I would like to draw. Am I just going to play this? I think I'm just going to play this. Yep.
Please stop.
Please stop. Please stop. I'm just an innocent card. Please stop. This current standard format is honestly the best format of Magic I've ever played. It's very, very good. The balance of archetypes is just super impressive. There's like good decks of almost every style of deck in this format. There's a Niv. All right, so in response to this Niv, I'm gonna go ahead and Vraska's Contempt this Enigma Drake. I do not have a primer on the mono black deck written currently. That's probably gonna be my project for my next article. I wrote about the Esper Amulet deck and then the white-red aggro deck for my last 2 weeks. Yeah, Cassie, the way my spells lined up, though, it just really didn't matter. Yeah, Compass is one of the cards that's been really impressive to me in this deck every time we've played it. And if this is your first time seeing this deck, and you want to see more of it after I'm done with it today, we're going to play, I don't know, 2 or 3 more matches with it. You can find more of it on my website, jeffhoagland.com. Click Standard Decks. There's the current deck list up there, as well as a bunch of videos of me playing it. That one can stay right there. That one can stay right on top of the deck, shall we? Bye, friend. I haven't played a land yet this turn, right? So let's try and draw a land drop. Perfect. I have like 7 treasures in play and 3 treasure coves. We've got this Plaguecrafter in hand. Nope, the decks that are listed in the stream title are decks I still have yet to play, so we're gonna wrap the day up with the Naya Ruinous Blast deck. Yeah, Croaker, the play design team is hopefully the reason why this format is good, and hopefully it will stay that way. So I have a Plaguecrafter to get rid of one of these, and then the Spires soft blocks out another one, so that's nice. And then I'm gonna get to draw 4 cards next turn, plus Scry. So hopefully find even more removal. Ding. That one can stay right there. I am your shield. I am your sword. Pertinent Tangent, thank you for the 12-month resubscription. I knight thee, defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Thanks for the entire year's worth of support there. All right, kill this one with fire. Okie doke. Let's draw some more cards here. Because I find like another Eldest Reborn, I'd like to play that first rather than this Plaguecrafter. All right, and then next turn, this pops off and gets me their Niv Mizzet back. So I think I just hold on to my Discovery for now, because I'd like to cast that while I have a Niv Mizzet in play. Get to draw an extra card that way. This was a good couple of games with this deck. We got to show racing with double Banefire, and then we got to show just like grinding them out with Eldest Reborns and treasure maps. A lot of good axes of attack that this deck has. Yeah, and each treasure is a ping too. Let's play one more with this one before we move on to the Naya deck. You don't have to be done at 3 o'clock today either. Maybe we'll play one more after Naya if we keep a good viewer count. Host from Nox really bumped us up. Stands pretty good. It needs to find some more land drops, but we're on the draw and we have treasure map to scry a little bit, so pretty good chance that we're going to find those. Yeah, we, there must be some kind of MMR that goes into the best of 3 traditional gameplay, because we played against all pretty much like decks with actual cards in them today, as opposed to cards I own style stuff. There is not a best of 3 ladder back, however, there is a game mode where you can play best of 3. KI, you were permanently banned from my channel there for using sexual orientation in a derogatory way. That's not permitted here. Please have a good one. If you're playing Paper Magic Day, would this be my go-to deck for a random large tournament? If I wanted to play a control deck, probably. However, if I was going to play in a Paper Magic tournament, I probably would just play, what's it called? The white-red aggro deck. That deck's really good. The white aggro deck's really good at running people down. That was the deck. Actually, my primer on Cool Stuff Inc. yesterday was about the white-red aggro deck in Standard. Yeah, and you can eat between rounds with it. If you are a fan of getting to eat during Magic tournaments, let me tell you, do I have the deck for you? Do not need another Ritual of Soot. Karn sounds great. I use the Vraska's Contempt, so just a little bit more resource efficient. Flipping the map super soon doesn't really do anything for me. I did not keep the Ritual of Soot. I put it on the bottom of my deck. I've just had 2 Rituals of Soot sitting in my hand here. There it is on the bottom. Not all of these decks play Niv in the main deck, although I guess Search for Azcanta kind of implies they could be on Jessup's list from the Invitational, which did have Niv in the main deck. I don't know, I could go either way on that. I probably should have scryed during my upkeep. Not that it would have mattered. I was going to draw lands anyways. Just this to start.
An excellent choice.
That's an excellent hit. So let's go ahead and cast this down. And even if they have a way to protect this from the cast down, the Thaumatic Compass is going to flip over and lock this out from attacking us, which is great. Maybe I should, because the Drake died, maybe I should wait to play this so that way I could search a land with it before it flips over. That's probably a small mistake on my part. Yeah, the Grixis Conjecture deck would be a fine run back. The deck was really sweet last time. No, just no one's re-added it yet. Remember, for subs, it's only $10 to add a standard deck to the queue. And the standard queue is actually pretty small these days since I've been doing more and more standard, so. Let's start with this. Compass doesn't actually prevent damage, it just untaps it and removes it from combat.
Are you certain of your decision?
Banefire and Encyclopedia. I'd love a good book. All I want for Christmas is a timeout. LF8 Gaming, thank you for the 6-month resub. I appreciate the half a year. Welcome back. We've not played a 1000-year Storm deck with infinite turns. We played the Esper Amulet deck that takes infinite turns a number of times. Joke's on my opponent. They didn't give us the Banefire and our only mountains on the bottom of our deck at the moment. Although I guess I have treasures in play which make red mana. So this Karn is probably on down tick duty, grabbing Cabal Stronghold followed by Banefire here the next 2 turns. Design Monkey Boy, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Do you have a dive down? Smells like it. Poor Karn. Glad we have a backup. It's so great that the Karns can draw the other cards that Karns have gotten. No, there's a deterministic loop with the Esper Amulet deck where you just take every turn. They might be able to grind us out with the Search for Azcanta here. Would really like to find a copy of Eldest Reborn or something. Magic's really easy when you're lucky, chat. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Pre-recorded. Now all my pre-recorded stuff goes up on YouTube. We don't do pre-recorded live. Listen, chat, if you have to choose between being lucky and being good, you should always choose being lucky. It's much better. Another Search for Azcanta doesn't really do a whole lot for them there. It's gonna filter their draws a little bit, but hopefully we'll just keep drawing more removal spells than they do threats. So the search for Azcanta is going to draw them spells, but like their win conditions aren't spells. So the Azcanta is not really going to find them win conditions very quickly. We did play Grixis Control earlier today. It'll be up on my YouTube channel later. And the Grixis Control like we played today was actually really sweet. I liked it a lot. Thief of Sanity into Nicol Bolas is a heck of a curve. Usually they only play some copies of Spell Pierce and Dive Down as their main deck counters. So at this point in the game, the Spell Pierces are dead draws. Post board, I expect them to have more counter spells in their deck, but... So let's play this. Let's activate it, get a mountain. Let's activate the Encyclopedia, draw a card. This might be a Banefire them from 20 kind of game. To get Karn first to have a backup? Yeah, maybe. I guess I am down to just like shoot one Karn left in my deck. So yeah, maybe I'm supposed to grab Karn first there. Although actually I have Eldest Reborn popping off next turn, so like if they kill my Karn this turn, I just like get this Karn back, right? The discoveries have been good. They had a nice amount of consistency to the deck. We didn't have to cut anything too important for them. We like got rid of copies of the card. There were like a couple of murders we were playing previously that were kind of awkward anyways. I think I just trimmed like that last time. Seems fine. Seems like a good plan. Thanks everyone for hanging out today, by the way. Hope you're having a great Thursday over here out in the world. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for dropping in, spending some time here with us. Remember, if you're enjoying the content, to hit that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. Lets you know when I go live and with what. I try to play different decks every hour and a half to 2 hours on this stream. So I always play 4 or 5 different standard constructed decks per day. So if you're looking for great deck ideas, this is a great place to drop into. Oi, Punk's not dead. Thanks for the biddies. I appreciate the support. For people that have watched my stream in the past, I'm rearranging my schedule a little bit. I'm doing 7 to 8 hours, 5 days a week now. So I'm doing 2 to 3 hours of Magic Online in the morning with Modern and Legacy, and then 4 to 5 hours of Standard here on Magic Arena every afternoon, Monday through Friday. If you're looking to burn wild cards, this is the stream for you. How do you beat Adanto Vanguard? Vraska's Contempt, Eldest Reborn, Moment of Craving, and Golden Demise are all ways you can take that card off the table. You can also just untap it every turn with the Thaumatic Compass. Did my opponent AFK after that beating? I think they might have AFK'd after that beating. I don't really think Flip Azcanta is a really big issue. The decks that care about Azcanta, you tend to be able to outgrind them. Like Banefire goes over the top. Like that game they had active Azcanta for most of the game, right? And ended up just not being good enough for them. This deck's probably not very good against the Turbo Fog decks. Those decks tend to fold to decks that have counter spells and pressure, and this deck doesn't have either of those things. This deck's pretty reasonable against Jeskai Control and tends to do well against things like... I think this deck is reasonable against the big three. Black, Green, Jeskai Control, and Drakes as the tools to be successful in those matchups. Scry during my upkeep. I think I'll just keep all the Plaguecrafters at this point. Card's very good against Drakes. Just keep their, as long as we can keep their threats off the table, we'll end up in a good spot. If they spell pierce this, it means they're likely not spell piercing Karns. That seems like a win for me. If my opponent plays a Drake this turn, I'll probably activate Treasure Map plus play Plaguecrafter. Murmuring Mystic. Yep, definitely got to get that one off the table. I'm gonna bottom that, looking for another land here. No, Enter the Infinite's never really been a standard playable card. It sees playing a little bit of play in Modern and some play in Legacy, alongside Omniscience and Show and Tell. I have no idea, Pift, okay? I don't use language like that because the amount of testing you need to have in order to like know data like that is an absurd degree. So I'd rather just like not make up a bunch of matches. So I'm not gonna just make up numbers for data that I don't have. The world would be a better place if more people just wouldn't make up numbers for data that they don't actually have. Kind of looking for lands here, right? Yeah, that seems fine. Get to Duress into Plaguecrafter here. Star of Extinction. Huh. I think I'm actually supposed to take Ral here because, like, I'm Plaguecraftering the Mystic, and then I need the Eldest Reborn to kill this, which leaves the Ral unchecked for now. Deal. I'm like, nah, we just have to beat the Star of Extinction, and we're gonna get their Niv Mizzet back at some point. So that seems real good for me. Yeah, I think I'm in for a Compass. Unlocks my red source. Get to discard a card here. Holding off on getting the Karn for a hot second. Am I? I think I'm gonna hold off on the Karn for a hot second because they're probably gonna have to pull the trigger on this Star of Extinction just when I get their Ralzeric back or their Niv here. So, I mean, if they star the red source, I have treasure maps to like make tokens with. Did I get Niv or Ral here? It's probably Niv, right? Oh, that's true. They do have Beacon Bolt. Yeah, that's fair.
What would you risk to beat?
Goes the weasel. Yeah, Ral probably forces the star. All right, they understood that the game was over. That felt really good. That was my first time doing a full set with copies of Discovery in the deck, and Discovery really felt like it smoothed things out. Just like having a cantrip in your control deck is great. Who knew? So we also played the Dispersal back half of this card more than once off of the treasure count tokens from the treasure map, so that seems sweet. If you're looking for a control deck that fights without counterspells, this is a great way to be doing it. I really like that this deck's able to pivot quickly into winning the game once it locks it up, either with Karn tokens getting very large thanks to treasure map and other artifacts, or Eldest Reborn grabbing their stuff, or Banefire just closing the game out very quickly. Naya Blast is Urza's Ruinous Blast. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up here next. It's gonna be